And when one or more pieces of that stack is missing, the outcome looks like a motivation problem, a discipline problem, a confidence problem, or even sometimes a personality problem. How many of us know exactly what we should do and still we just don't do it? And somewhere along the way, we just stop asking questions and start giving ourselves conclusions. I'm just lazy. Maybe I just need to be a little more disciplined. Maybe I'm not a leadership material. My child is just so unmotivated. But what if those conclusions aren't the truth? For the past 2 years, I have worked with teens, parents, educators, professionals, helping people better understand themselves and the people they're trying to lead, teach, coach, and support. And I have done this through classrooms, workshops, programs, coaching conversations, workplace learning experiences. I started by teaching emotions because I believed and still believe emotions are the windows into our true selves. They give us insights into our thoughts, needs, experiences, and patterns. When we understand our emotions better, we can make better decisions. But the more I work with people, the more I realize emotions cannot be understood or taught in isolation. They are just one piece of a much bigger puzzle, connected to the way we think, the beliefs we hold, the way we behave, the decisions we make, and the way we relate to others or to ourselves. Whether I'm sitting with a teenager struggling at a school, a parent trying to connect with their child, a professional navigating the workplace, or someone preparing for a leadership role, the stories are different, the ages are different, the challenges are different. But underneath them all, the patterns are remarkably similar. People weren't really struggling because they didn't care. Often, in fact, they cared more deeply. They knew something needs to be changed. They wanted to change, and sometimes they even knew exactly what they were supposed to do to change. But their behavior wasn't matching their intention. So when a client asks, how do we change this behavior? I look at a different question. What is driving this behavior? Because behavior isn't always the problem. Behavior, in fact, can act like information. It tells us that something underneath needs our attention. The more I observed, the more I saw people who genuinely wanted to change. They had the intention, they had the desire, many had the knowledge, some had the resources, and some also had incredible support system. And yet they struggle to turn intentions into execution. I want to become a leader. I want better grades. I want to wake up early. I want to be more organized. I don't want to waste my time. I want to get better at communication. I know I need to start. I just can't seem to follow through. This gap fascinated me, not because people lacked potential, but because so many capable people struggle to access that capability. And when we don't understand what's happening underneath, we create conclusions. Lazy, unmotivated, indisciplined, or just not leadership material. Maybe, and just maybe, the problem isn't the lack of potential. Maybe it's just missing capability, or missing a system, or having a limited belief, an emotional barrier, or simply a lack of understanding of what the person actually needs to move forward. And one thing became very clear to me: lack of capability is not a personality flaw. It simply means that there's something we haven't learned, developed, understood, or put in place yet. That realization changed the way I coach. We often talk about outcomes as if they depend on one skill, but they don't. For example, leadership isn't just one skill, it's a stack of capabilities. It includes self awareness, emotion regulation, decision making, communication, accountability, and much more. Similarly, communication isn't just one skill either. It requires listening, emotional awareness, clarity, perspective talking, confidence, the ability to adapt. The same is true for confidence, relationship, adaptability, achievement, even something as simple as trying to be organized. What we often call a skill is actually a stack of capabilities working together. And when one or more pieces of that stack is missing, the outcome looks like a motivation problem, a discipline problem, a confidence problem, or even sometimes a personality problem. Think about how often this shows up in everyday life. You want better grades, you want to lose weight, you want to ask for that raise, you want to communicate your vision better to your team, you want to lead a team better, you want to be more present with your child, you want to start that project you've been thinking of for the past couple of years. The intention is there, but intention alone does not produce outcome. Every intention demands execution, and execution requires more than simply knowing what to do. It requires the right capability, the right system, and perhaps most importantly, the ability to understand what is actually getting in your way, understanding what sits between I want to and I did. Because if you've ever felt stuck despite knowing what to do, if you have questioned your own potential, if you have called yourself lazy, unmotivated, indisciplined, or not just good enough, you may simply be asking the wrong question. And it may simply be a capability gap. And that changes the question. Instead of asking what's wrong with the person, we ask what is missing between their intention and execution. And that's the work I do, helping people discover what's missing between their intention and execution and help them develop the capability they need to move forward, one conversation at a time.